Hi, I'm Mick LaSalle, and welcome to the Beauty of the Real. You're about to see a movie called ALIAS BETTY from 1999, starring Sandrine Kiberlain. When we were putting together this festival, we were trying to figure out what Sandrine Kiberlain movie to put in. She has a movie called Mademoiselle Chambon about 2 years ago. That's a really terrific movie, but a lot of people have seen it. It's readily available. A lot of people who've seen it, they've seen it recently, obviously. It was only from 2 years ago. And then she made a lot of art films, and a lot of these art films are pretty good, but they usually have something wrong with them, or they get kind of boring, or if you put them together in a double feature, people fall asleep during the first movie, and then they get kind of depressed about having to sit through another one. So then ALIAS Betty presented itself, and ALIAS Betty is, in one way, kind of a plot-driven thriller, definitely a crowd pleaser. It has a great story, just great tight thriller plot. It was based on a novel by Ruth Rendell, the great mystery writer, and it was adapted for the screen by the late Claude Miller. And so in that way, it just seems like a fun movie, but at the center of it, you have this terrific performance by Sandrine Kiberlain. Kiberlain plays a novelist whose mother is a little bit, well, more than a little bit crazy. Her mother's almost flat out nuts. And in the performance by Kiberlain, you see the whole backstory, because she's somebody who is having to be very controlled and control her emotions, because she has seen all her life growing up what happens when you let go of your emotions, which she's seen in the example of her mother, somebody who's out of control, and so she wants to be in control. And this quality of Kiberlain's in this movie is kind of emblematic of the quality that she has in almost all of her movies. She is usually somebody who comes up against great emotion and maintains a certain control in the face of it, but then when she's thought things through, usually makes the decision in favor of emotion, in favor of recklessness, but with a certain intellectual, it's a decision. It's not just an impulse. It's a kind of a special quality of personality that she has. If there's one other thing I would want to tell you about before you see this movie, and it's only because it might interest you, this movie came about at a kind of a fraught juncture in Kiberlain's life. She was pregnant, right before making this movie, she was pregnant, and right before she gave birth, maybe a month or so before, she had what she calls a cerebral incident. And I have to say, because my French is so bad and her English is pretty bad too, I don't think that meant that she had a stroke, but she had some kind of thing that landed her in the hospital, and the baby was born and her father died. Not the baby's father, I mean Kiberlain's father died. And so it was like just all this tumult, and then right after that she made a movie. And she has, you can almost see the backstory of, not of the character, but of Kiberlain, about what's just happened in her life. You can almost see it in her demeanor. And in some ways, the things that happened to Kiberlain, on a, not in the specific ways, but in a kind of an emotional way, fits with the movement of this film, which is not just a thriller, but a showcase for a wonderful actress. Anyway, so have fun. Sandrine Kiberlain in ALIAS Betty from 1999.